Chase Buchanan, Private Wealth Management. Trusted advice made simple.
They say life is a game, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot, now pass me the ball. Always wanna stop me when I'm running the ball.
Hey, we're back. Hello, welcome. Pitch football at the Euros after a couple of days off. We are back, and when I say we, I mean Iain Chambers, the wonderful spot, Abigail Davies, and the one and only Ince. How are you?
Good, really good. Refreshed.
Yes.
Couple of days off.
Yeah.
Great to be back in Abs.
Oh, absolutely. I can't say I've missed either of you, but it is good to be back.
That's because we've seen each other every day, right? Listen, if you are new to this show, this is we're going to be here all the way throughout the Euros, from start to finish. We're going to be analysing everything that goes down, dissecting it. And if you haven't already, make sure you download the Pitch Football app. That is where you can get some amazing statistics, analysis, and commentary from the likes of Mr. Ince here, Abigail here as well. If you haven't already got involved with Fan Time, that is where you can send us videos of yourself, and you could end up featuring right here on this very show. But Ince,
yes,
group stage is done and dusted. This tournament is well and truly starting to take shape.
Well, this is what we've been thinking about for ages, haven't we? You know, listen, we've done the group stages, and some games have been exciting, some games have been a bit mundane. But this is where it starts, isn't it? Knockout football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm excited. I'm actually excited, Abs. For the first time, I'm excited.
You can feel it.
No, absolutely.
It's radiating.
Does
the mentality change at this point?
Yeah.
I'm not even.
Did you hear that bit?
Yeah, I did. You said something about Denmark knocking Wales out, and I just thought it was so pathetic. I'm not even going to give it any lip service. Does the mentality change at this point?
Yeah, it does.
As a player?
Of course it does. And, as a manager, it changes. Because you can always kind of, if you like the first game, if you don't win the first game, you've always got 2 games to try and get yourself back in the group stage. And we saw that, it's in so many times in these group matches. But now it's knockout football. This is where you got to come to the party. This is where every player in that team who plays for those respective teams got to be 9 out of 10. And it is a different mentality because if you lose, you're going home. There's no coming back from it. I think the worst thing ever, I remember when we played in Euro 2000 and we lost to Romania, I think it was. And that feeling of just packing your bags, and getting on the coach and it's horrible. Honestly, it's so horrible. And you don't want that feeling so early at any time in the tournament. But last 16, we just got through the group stages. And we're packing our bags, getting on a coach and to get to the airport, and you're seeing all the other fans there still waiting for their teams to play. And
at least you're used to it now, so when it does happen, when you do get knocked out by Germany, you'll be able to speak to the players and let them know how it feels.
I won't have far to go home all day if we lose to Germany.
I imagine it's sort of like, do you know when you make a load of friends on holiday and you have to leave and they've got another couple of weeks left?
Yeah.
It's like, see you later, everybody.
Exactly right. Yeah.
But we did see, elements of must-watch football at the back end of the group stages, but now, from this point onwards, we can't really miss a game.
Absolutely. I think, there are teams that have stood out for very different reasons. You've got Holland, who I don't think anyone fancied them, per se, at the start of the tournament, and now people are looking at them and their route through, and could they possibly reach the semis or even the final? And then there are teams like Spain, who, you didn't know what you were going to expect from those either, but they've kind of gone the other way, and even though they've got through, you don't really see them progressing much further, or I don't personally. So yeah, it's very interesting to see now how the dynamics change, whether teams are going to stick with the players they've started with, and it really is unmissable.
Well, we know that England will face Germany, and before we discuss that, let's reflect on England's last group stage match against the Czech Republic. It was a 1-0 victory. Let's hear from the fans speaking after the game back in England.
This is James Helder for the Euro Bureau. We're in Wembley. With me I've got Umar and Jack. Firstly, give me your reaction to England, what you've just witnessed tonight.
I mean, quite poor. Obviously we win, but not the result I was looking for. I wanted to go in and hammer him, but obviously it didn't happen.
It was positive. It was a lot more positive than the Scotland game because they've already gone out.
What would you have done differently if you were Gareth Southgate today?
Play Sancho, play Sancho from the start, play him with Grealish. That's what I would have done.
Jack, what were the plus and the positives today from your point of view?
It's 3 clean sheets in 3 games, isn't it? So I mean, it's something to build on, and that's the positive. But if you're only getting 2 goals in a group, then if you're going to be facing like France, you need to be getting more than that.
Let's look at today's top performers. Who do you think done really well for England? Who played above and beyond the call expected tonight?
definitely Bukayo Saka. What an absolutely unbelievable player. As an Arsenal fan, I was so happy and proud to see unbelievable form from the guy. Unbelievable.
Jack Grealish, definitely Jack Grealish.
No, Grealish was unbelievable as well.
As a Spurs fan, Kane was getting no service past 2 games. I think Mount and Foden got replaced by Saka and Grealish, made a big difference. Kane was getting ball to feet, taking shots on target, and yeah, unfortunately not to score tonight on that turn-off, that's what I thought.
3 games, we haven't conceded a single goal. I'm over the moon. I know people...
Harry Kane has got something else on his mind. Oh, he has, hasn't he?
I agree with that. He has.
Harry Kane's got
there's something,
deal on his mind.
Something going on with Harry Kane there.
But
to be fair to him, he hasn't had any service from our players. He hasn't had no service whatsoever. But I'm 100% behind Southgate. We haven't conceded a goal. If this was Germany or France, they'd be all saying, all their fans would be saying, look at us, we've only conceded, we haven't conceded a goal. 7 points, haven't conceded a goal. We're in the next round. Come on, we can do it.
3rd game consecutively, no goals for the skipper. What are your thoughts on Harry Kane at the moment?
Obviously, he's one of the best strikers in the world, but he's just not been getting a service. So I think that's the main issue. But yeah, he just needs the ball in, really. Just not getting the delivery.
But the thing is, though, last 16, we're going out, so that's it.
You can't say that. I can't. We're going to get through because we're back at Wembley. We've got the tie we wanted. We topped the group. There's no point finishing second to try and play these teams later on. You're going to have to play them now, sooner or later. Let's beat them now before they've started picking up form.
Thank you to James Helder with the Euro Bureau there. It's not easy being outside Wembley trying to pick up fans left, right and centre after the game, but here we go. We got a nice mixture of opinions there, Ince. What are your thoughts on what the fans had to say?
You know what, I think the most positive thing that came out of that is we kept 3 clean sheets. You know, that's the most important thing. I think when you're going into these knockout tournaments, having clean sheets is a bonus. We always talk about the goals and we've not scored enough goals. We've only scored 2 goals. Doesn't matter if you're keeping clean sheets and you've got the talent that we've got offensively, the likes of Kane and Sterling and Grealish, then we got to go this last game against Germany feeling really, really positive. And I think listen, England fans are England fans. You know, you get some who are so negative and some we haven't played well in the group stages. I get that, but then get off the Germans. And we know what happens to the Germans when they don't play well. So you kind of hope that we're going to click into form. I mean, if you look at the last 3 games that we've had, England, we've kind of changed the personnel around a lot. You know, this is, Abby said before, this is knockout football now. You've got to get the formation right, you've got to get your tactics right, and you've got to get your personnel right. And, there'll be fans coming for Saka or Grealish to start. Southie's got to really be careful and really sit down and analyse, what is going to be the best way to beat these Germans. And we talked about them being too defensive, England. I think they'll still probably be the same. I don't think they'll come out against the Germans because we know the Germans press high up the park and hopefully we'll be able to counter-attack them. But listen, we're in the last 16. We've got to be positive.
Can I just stop you right there? I've made a massive error.
Oh?
I took my sunglasses off to watch those fans and I need to put them back on. That really hurt not doing it because it would have looked stupid if I hadn't addressed it. So I'm just gonna put that out there just to break up the monotony of talking about England.
Oh, come on now.
So that's what it was. That's what it was.
2 days off and you're all fired up again.
Can I just say though, it's the same talking points as we had before the first game. It's Grealish, it's Saka, it's Kane.
Yeah.
And hearing those fans talking about Kane in the same way, he was asked, I think, after the last game, do you have a celebration lined up to salute Eriksen if you score? And Kane just answered so honestly and just said, well, I've got to score first. And you just thought that reply, it was kind of, it stripped away all the airs and graces and it was just like, I'm not scoring.
He wants it though, doesn't he? That's the thing. It's not out of a lack of effort. We saw probably his best performance so far in this competition against the Czech.
Well, listen, I mean, early doors, like first 3-4 minutes, you had a puck shot from about 25 yards that went over the bar. Yeah. And you think, okay, well, he's in a confident mood. Yeah. If he's happy to take shots from that distance, then he's not a negative thought in his head at the moment. Then he had a great chance where the keeper made a wonderful save. That then people say a normal Harry Kane would have put that in the back of net if he was playing for Tottenham. Yeah. But listen, he's one of those players, he ain't going to lose confidence. He's just got, I find when you're a player at any position, if you're not doing your job, you've got to just make it simply get in the game, get your touches, but it's not. Everyone's talking about it's got to score. Yeah. And that can weigh on the centre forward's head.
But is that not where you need someone like Southgate to say, look, just get into the game a bit more, even if you're passing a ball out wide and then Grealish is on the end of it or someone else, just get involved in the build-up play. So is that where you need someone like Southgate to come out and just say that to him? Maybe he is, but just, put his arm around his shoulder and just say, look, this is what you need to be doing. Or should he know that by now himself?
He knows that, but also what Southgate's got to be saying to us, I don't want you coming past the midfield players.
Yeah.
I don't want you coming past Mason Mount.
Yeah.
He's our number 10.
Yeah.
You're coming past just to play a little square pass and run 40 yards in the box.
Yeah.
I said, you just stay there where you are and let my other players do that.
Yeah.
You're going to pass it square, pass on the edge of the 18-yard box, so it's a touch and you're in the box. He ain't doing that, but hopefully, listen, can't make Harry Kane off, that's for sure.
Never. Once he gets his first, I think we're good to go.
We're flying.
Maguire, he really adds another dimension to this side, doesn't he?
It does from a leadership point of view. As I said, Mings has done absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And I think if you're Tyrone Mings, you'll be sitting there thinking, disappointed that you're not involved. I think listen, Mings maybe just being happy that he's actually took part in a couple of games because of the injury of Maguire. But once you're in that position and you've kept clean sheets, you've got to be kind of a bit upset that that you're not playing all the time. But Harry Maguire gives you something from a leadership point of view. The players like him now.
He can pick a pass as well.
And playing the ball out from the back.
It's not really a passer. What he does, he runs with the ball.
Yeah.
He runs with the ball and he commits players and he can play people in. And I think for people like Jordan Pickford, they like to have a settled back four who they're working with. That's why with some setup he kept changing it. I wasn't too sure about it. Now it looks like he's got a settled back four. And he's a leader. And he's another person from set pieces who we can rely on.
Yeah. Do you think that England have sort of meandered their way into the last 16?
Absolutely. I think even, finding the players, I know you say they've now got a formation and a back four that they want to play with, but you look at the full-backs, and I still don't think he's 100% sure who he wants to play in those positions. I still don't really understand what he's trying to do. Does he want them to get forward? I know with Saka you've got that different dimension now, so he's the one down the right who'll provide that ball into the box. But what do you want from your...
If Saka plays,
exactly.
there's no guarantee he's going to play.
But if he doesn't, what do you want from your full-backs? And I don't think we fully know yet.
I'll tell you what, you hold that thought.
Okay.
What do you want from your fullback?
Was he thinking?
We'll find out what he's thinking. You never know what he's thinking. Look, those steely eyes. You never know what's going on behind those eyes.
He's holding it.
I'm holding the full.
Hold that thought. We'll be back with more conversation from Abby and Ince. Plus, we're going to be joined by a lovely Welsh fan after the break.
They say life is a game, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot now.
Chase Buchanan, Private Wealth Management. Trusted advice made simple. Chase Buchanan, Private Wealth Management. Trusted advice made simple.
They say life is a game, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot.
Welcome back to Pitch Football at the Euros with me, Iain Chambers, Abigail Davies, and the one and only Mr. Paul Ince. Paul, I'm so sorry I cut you off there.
That's right.
You were about to respond
Mid-flow.
to Abby's. Yeah, he was in mid-flow, wasn't he? He was just getting into his groove. Fullbacks, England. Let's go.
Well, I think Abby's probably right in saying that, what's the plan for the fullbacks, depending on what fullbacks he plays. And I think when you kind of look at, Trippier playing the left fullback, I think there was a reason why he played on the left as a left fullback. Shaw's now playing those games, and I think when you look at the fullbacks, as much as they're attacking when they play for their clubs, I think when you play with wide people, it's hard to get fullbacks that far up the park. And I think it looks like for me that South is thinking about maybe attacking with five, but make sure we defend with five. And that's why you're not seeing the fullbacks overlapping. I mean, how many crosses have Luke Shaw got in? Walker, whoever's playing on that right hand side, they're none at all. Because basically what they're doing, they're saying let the wingers have it. We'll just support them. And if the wingers get doubled up, then we just let it to the fullback that puts into the box. Hopefully Harry Kane scores. That looks like the plan to me. You're right. At no time do we see the fullbacks, going outside because the wings are too wide. They can start drifting in a bit, and it allows space for the fullbacks to get outside. But we're not seeing that. And that's why people are saying we're being really defensive at this moment of time, and we're not taking any risks. And I think if you're going to win the tournament, you've got to take risks. You've got to get men forward. You've got to press high when you lose the ball, because that's what the Germans are doing. That's what the Dutch are doing. That's what the Italians are doing. And you can see when you look at these teams. The teams we're talking about, the Belgians, the French, you can see the way they're playing. They're all kind of playing similar. They lose the ball, bang, just wing it back as quick as possible. England lose the ball, we go, right, let's retreat.
Yeah.
So you want to see him push forward?
Could it be as well a lack of trust in the wide players to fill into those spaces if your fullback does get forward, and you're expecting then the wide player to drop a little bit deeper, or is it a lack of trust in them to do that?
Well, this is where you've got the two holding midfield players, because obviously once those fullbacks get pulled out of position, with the legs of Calvin Phillips or Jordan Henderson, Declan Rice, they're the ones who've got to get across the midfield to cover up that space, which doesn't seem to be happening because the fullbacks ain't pushing forward. So we're very kind of safe in what we're trying to do.
Pedestrian almost.
Yeah, just safe. We've got that mentality. We don't want to concede. We don't want to lose the game.
Yeah.
Rather than just go and win the game.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been seeing with England's performances.
I'll never cut you off again. All right.
But then it was also, that's almost what we saw from Portugal in the group stages in 2016. So, maybe there is an element of that working.
Yeah, well,
optimism from you.
Yeah, well, true. But listen, Portugal, as we've seen, have been in there on the Asian team.
Yeah.
So they've always defended deep. When you've got Pepe, Pete and Fonte at the back, that's the way they play. But England don't play that way because at the first 10-15 minutes against Croatia, we were thinking, well, here we go. They're on the front foot. You know what I mean? We're opening teams up. We're not doing that. We've gone the other way now.
Yeah.
But as I said, anything could happen. In one game, anything can happen.
Now then, if you haven't downloaded the Pitch Football app yet, when should you do it?
Now!
When should you do it?
Now!
Now.
One of the key features...
Now.
Now?
Now. Now in a minute.
Now, in a minute.
One of the key features of the app is foreplay. That is where you can go and make predictions for the results that you can expect to see here in this Euro 2020 competition. Now, we've got a bit of a leaderboard because if you guess correctly, you get more points. And the most points at the very end of this competition gets to play a round of golf with you, Mr. Paul Ince. Should we have a look at the leaderboard, see how we're shaping up?
Let's do that.
Now, Brownie is currently sitting pretty on top with 1,000 points. Clarkey sitting behind him on 860. Bennett on 830. From second place to about 6th, it's quite tight. I reckon it's all still to play for.
Too right.
Brownie's been up there for a while now, though, hasn't he?
Brownie's getting ready. Yeah. He's practicing his
like
swing.
your predictions. You've been up there for a while.
Yeah,
but
I know. And you still, no, you're not.
I feel like I should be, to be fair. That's for sure.
Well, I've given you enough chances, and you can't make the most of them.
I'm getting the teams right that win, but I'm just getting the wrong score. You're not even in it. You're out of it. Every time we do it, she's out of it by 60 minutes. I'm still in it. You know what I mean?
I'm still 4-2 up.
Well, listen, you two are always debating all sorts of stuff, and over dinner, I heard you discussing your team of the tournament so far. Now we are through the group stages. Could be quite fun to put together a starting 11 of all the teams that have performed well in the group so far. We also want a manager. We want a super sub. We want a captain. Do you want to do this right here, right now?
Let's do it. So, can I just put it out there? We were discussing having Danny Ward in goal. I personally think he does warrant it.
Can I put it out there again? We weren't discussing Danny Ward being in goal.
Okay.
His name was never ever mentioned.
I discussed
it was
him.
by Abby, but not by anybody else.
No keeper has saved as many expected goals as he has in this tournament so far. And I think the thing as well with him, he's not played a club game since 2017.
Well done, Danny.
So, can I just put that out there? But go on then, who did we go for in goal?
We went for Donnarumma, didn't we? Donnarumma?
Yeah, we did. We did. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it was between him and Pickford.
Did Radetsky, the Finland goalkeeper, not get a look in there?
No, I think we looked at them. We looked at the keeper. Even the Russian keeper, I think, has made some great saves.
Yeah.
But I think, Pickford's 3 clean sheets, same Donnarumma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted Pickford, but the lady won, so she got Donnarumma.
Okay, so let's move on to the defence.
Yes, let's. So we've gone for Denzel Dumfries.
Yep, gone for him.
Yeah.
Holland.
Tell me why first. Why?
Well, listen, I mean, apart from his glare he missed, last week, I think he's what Abby's been talking about our England fullbacks.
Yeah.
He's actually getting in the box, he's making things happen.
Winner against Ukraine.
Yeah, winner against Ukraine. It's like he's all action Jackson at the moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he is.
So, listen, I couldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I mean...
Little fact for you
I
as
actually
well.
agreed with Abby.
He's named after Denzel Washington.
Is he?
Just throwing that out there, yeah.
One of my favourite actors of all time.
So, yeah, just
how was that though? Because he's Dumfries and that Denzel's Denzel Washington.
Denzel. But he's Denzel.
He's Denzel Dumfries?
Yeah.
I've got a little horse called Denzel. A little Shetland Poland called
You
Denzel.
did?
At my house.
Did you?
Yeah, my daughter's got a little Shetland Poland called Denzel.
After Denzel Dumfries?
That's true, that's true.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know she was... So, hang on, there's a theme going here. Your wife's dressed all in orange for one of your games when you were playing for England, and now your daughter has a horse
Little
named
Shetland
after
Poland.
Denzel Dumfries.
Yeah.
There you go.
Holland are winning this, aren't they?
Back to it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so then I'm going to let you describe this one because I wanted Joe Rodon.
No.
You've won with...
Absolutely not. Chambers, no. We agreed. Me and Chambers agreed.
Yeah, so you've gone for John Stones.
Yeah, I think John Stones has been exceptional. I really does. Listen, apart from his miss against Scotland, which he should have scored.
Should have scored it.
I think he's come on leaps and bounds because even at City he was struggling to get in the side, but now he's come back in. He's been wonderful at City, and he's taken that form into England. So I think it's a no-brainer for me. I know you want to put De Ligt in there, but I think John Stones 3 games he's played 3 clean sheets.
Bit of a spoiler though. Just a question. Am I right in thinking that this is the only English player in the team?
Yeah. Yes, you are.
I might contribute as we go along.
Right, as we were talking about it yesterday as well, I did actually say to the producer, I said, do you know what? I haven't got it in me to discuss if anyone brings up Harry Kane being in this starting 11. I've not got it in me.
And
then someone might have mentioned that.
Okay, wait till we get up top.
So yeah, the other centre-half, Bonucci, hasn't put a foot wrong in this. 3 clean sheets. No more needs to be said.
And he's a leader.
Yeah,
he's a
exactly.
leader.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And he's our captain as well, isn't
he's our
he?
captain
We'll throw
for
that in
sure.
there. And then other fullback, Spinazzola. I think, as we've said, fullbacks have dominated this tournament. I think the way they get forward is very important. So
could we not have an Italian at the back? They've been phenomenal.
We haven't got Bonucci.
We have got
Bonucci. But what about Chiellini?
He's out injured.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was outstanding the first game, but he's injured. So
yeah.
You know, John Stones gets in there now, so that's what we've decided on.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
And then N'Golo Kante. You know, you need someone in there, don't you, to do that gritty work. As soon as, just say, when we were discussing it, as soon as his name was mentioned, your face lit up like I've never seen it like that before. Ever. Tell me why you love him so much.
I just love
it. Instant replay of his face lit.
Yeah. Well, it's just... he makes you giddy. He makes you giddy. Like, I absolutely love it. So yeah,
he works for 2 men.
Yeah,
you know, he's like
your Joe Allen.
Rice and the Phillips put together.
Yeah. He's like a Joe Allen.
Yeah, he just
stop saying Joe.
It just covers so much ground, and you know, you talk about players like him. You know, the holding players, the ultimate, the Gerrards, and people like that.
Yeah.
You know, he's on that level. What he does and how he does it. And I'm glad he's getting so much, you know, respect for what he does, because those players don't normally get that. When you've got Mbappe and Griezmann and Benzema, you kind of forget about the people who do the job behind you. Yeah. And he does it the best in the world. So he's
for someone so small, you fancy him in a battle against anyone, don't you?
Well, you
in
do,
midfield.
Yeah, you do. You look at him and you think, oh, well, he's only small. Should be able to outpower him.
Yeah.
But he's a bit like Makelele at Chelsea. Those type of players, you know, just got so strong in the strength for them. But he was a no-brainer for us, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Then got KDB. Kevin De Bruyne
obviously
has to be in there. Yep. Nobody has made more key passes than him so far in this tournament. He's only
player of the tournament so far?
No, Kante for me.
Oh, okay.
Kante for me.
Can I find myself agreeing with you? But yeah, KDB's only played 135 minutes out of the 270, but the impact he's made, absolutely massive. We saw when he came on for the second half in their second game. Huge player. He could be the player of the tournament overall. I think he could be one that we're looking at for that.
Do you agree?
It depends, because normally the players who get the most goals, you know, end up becoming the player of the tournament, and I don't think it should always be the case. You know, we all seem to look at the strikers, the one who scored, put the balls in the back of the net. So if someone finishes on 7-8 goals, they're going to get player of the tournament. But KDB's will be up there.
You know what? That's my pet hate in individual games as well. When you've got man of the match, and it always goes to the goal scorer.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, someone's been outstanding at midfield, and they go, well. And the thing is, this player could be absolutely horrendous for 85 minutes, score. And they go, oh, we'll give it to him. Well, why? He wasn't man of the match. Is it man of that second, or was it man of the match?
Did you ever find yourself having a killer performance, feel like you were man of the match, but the goal scorer got it?
It never really bothered me that being man of the match, because I was more of a team player. But I get what Abby's saying. You know, you're sitting there going, oh, it's got to be him, it's got to be him. And they give it to someone who scored in the last minute. It doesn't make sense.
As a player, though, do you listen out for it? You know, when they're announcing it, 85 minutes on the clock, they're announcing it. Are you going?
Well, you do, because when the fans hear it, they go, man of the match was Ian Chambers, for example. Then you think, yeah, that means I'm playing next week, because all the fans could cheer. So it's one of them, you know? It's one of them.
Then we got Wijnaldum. He had to be in there. Had to be in there. He's moved up above Van Basten in the all-time scoring list for Holland. 3 goals. Just superb, isn't he? He's part of that core Holland side that I think is going to cause damage in the
He's one of those,
knockouts.
as I said, when I keep mentioning Frankie Lampard and people like that. He gets in the box. His timing of runs into the box. He makes that third, fourth striker in there. You know, and you talk about England. When do we ever see that for England? When did we ever see someone from midfield making those 30, 40 yards into the box to get on the end of something? And he does it naturally. And you know, it's a dying breed, those type of players. And it has to be in there for me. We agreed a lot, didn't we? Which was quite disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I wanted more arguments. I was ready. I was fired up.
We're not finished yet. We're not finished
yet.
And I want to find out the rest of this starting 11. Plus, we need to talk about your big game today. We haven't even scratched the surface when it comes to Wales in the last 16. So much to talk about. Plus, we're going to be joined by a Welsh fan. We're going to be doubling up on the Welsh fans on the show once again. We'll be back after the break.
You see, life is a game, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot, now pass me the ball.
Chase Buchanan, Private Wealth Management. Trusted advice made simple. Chase Buchanan, Private Wealth Management. Trusted advice made simple.
They say life is a game, gotta have your goals. gotta take a shot. Now
Welcome back to Pitch Football at the Euros with me, Iain Chambers, Abigail Davies and Paul Ince. Listen, there's only one app. When you wake up in the morning and you want to know about what's going on in the world of football, if you want to give your predictions on all things Euro 2020, it's the Pitch Football app, isn't it? When should they download it, Paul?
Abs.
You go on.
Now. Not in a minute, now.
You should do it right now.
Yeah. Now.
You'd be daft not to.
You would be daft not to.
Yeah.
You're mad.
It's wonderful. Right, let's get back into our group stages, starting 11.
Yeah.
Where were we?
So, next up, we have CR7.
Absolutely. I was
R7,
worried.
please. R7.
I was worried you weren't going to put R7 in because I know you're not the biggest fan.
Do you know what? I wasn't going to because his all-round game hasn't been great, but he is still top scorer. So I guess you do have to have him in there.
Big match player.
The other debate, though, we can never have him as captain.
What?
Yeah.
You have to have him as the captain.
I want him as captain, but Abby said
No.
Benucci, so...
He plays for himself.
This is the reason why.
He plays for himself. When you're out on that pitch, you want someone who you feel you can pass to, who's going to look up when he's got the ball. He's not. He plays for himself a lot of the time.
But he demands more from the players around him.
See, I think it's a fine balance because sometimes, yes, you could argue that, but a lot of the time, how much do those players around him think, I can't take a shot on goal here because if I do, Ronaldo might throw a hissy fit.
What are you saying?
Listen, it wasn't my decision.
Okay.
Yes, it was. It absolutely was.
All right.
You were in
R7.
agreement with me yesterday.
I'm just glad R7's in
You're
the
just
team.
buddying up now, aren't you? Oh, England friends.
All right, R7's in the team. Where are we going
Yeah,
next?
he is. So, Damsgaard. I think we were... I was surprised you agreed with me on this one.
I think he's been outstanding.
He has.
For Denmark, I think he's been really good.
And he's the main source, I think, looking ahead to Wales-Denmark, he's the player that puts the fear into me the most.
Okay.
Yeah, he's technically gifted, good on the ball. Yeah, he
Scores goals,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
you saw the last game.
And only 20.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing. And we'll do a
Incredible.
full preview of that Wales-Denmark game a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Will we?
Yeah, we will.
Okay, just left it.
And then the final player in there, Lukaku.
Contract.
Had to be Lukaku.
What about
Yeah.
Kane?
Oh, my days.
Come on. Nah, but there is an argument for Kane because
I want to hear it then.
All right.
Yeah.
If the team you're building is based purely around performances in the group stages, of course, it can't be Kane.
Yeah, and
if
it
this
is.
is the team that you... Oh, no, it is that. I've already established that, and now I'm starting to backtrack. But if you want this team to take you forward
Then
throughout the
that's-
rest
then
of the
that-
competition...
That's the team. You can't have a striker who's not just not scoring goals, but not actually participating in the game.
Yeah.
And compare him to Lukaku,
Yeah,
to what
yeah.
Lukaku's doing.
I know his first
it's
touch
another-
sometimes lets him down.
Yeah, as he takes
All right,
the ball.
Kane's not going to be in. He's not
No.
going to be in there. But listen,
No.
I am about to drop a bomb.
No, we
on
haven't got
this
a
team.
manager yet.
All right, manager.
Yeah. Go on,
Mancini.
Mancini.
Okay, Mancini.
I think the Danish manager did have a look in. I think the way he's organised that squad and he's kept that mentality there
That
despite
focus,
what's happened.
Yeah, that focus on the team to go out and kind of not so much push it aside, but
Yeah.
listen, to get through to the last 16, I think is a great
amazing.
achievement. What's
Yeah,
gone on,
yeah.
and our super sub's going to be Mbappe, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's us done.
Yeah,
That's you done?
Yeah. Draw a line under it.
One word. One word. Pogba.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Where's Pogba?
Doesn't get him. It does not get in. I'm sorry. If you're looking at Pogba compared to, we talk about scoring goals.
Yeah.
It's got to be a nice little balance here.
Yeah.
I said I don't think Pogba's been over great. Listen, he had one great pass out where they scored, but to come in and replace something like KDB
Yeah.
or Ronaldo, it just does. He's not played that well to take them and took one of those two out of the team. In fact, so it wasn't really one of those. It was more like one of those.
Yeah.
It was a puff. It was a puff.
All right. It was a poof.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are the experts, so I'll just take it.
It was a
Starting 11.
deflated puff, wasn't it? Yeah.
If you want to recap our starting 11, make sure you check us out on Instagram. Follow us at Pitch Footy. You will see a graphic of the starting 11 right there, and loads of other great content too. If you're not following us, what you doing? Go do it right now. Right, let's get into the last 16 games. Today we've got a couple.
Yeah, we have.
One in particular I know you're very excited about. But let's start with Italy, Austria. The Italians are coming out of the group stages on fire. They haven't lost, haven't conceded. They're looking good.
Looking very, very good. Very good. And obviously, I'm not sure how long Cleany's going to be out, whether he's going to be back in. If they can get him back in, they look even stronger at the back. They've kept so many clean clean sheets. I think it's about 10, I think, so far. But just the whole balance of the team looks right for me. You know, Locatelli midfield, someone like no one's even thought about. Is that Sassuolo in Italy? And now there's big clubs in Italy want to buy him for £40 million. So when you talk about, we mentioned at the start of this programme when we first started it, players who can come out and put their name on the board of other clubs. He's one of those. He's been outstanding. Then you've got Immobile. I like Ince. No one talks about Ince. You know, he's been at like Napoli for years and years, but he's a wonderful, wonderful player. So when I look through the whole team with Immobile up there, they've got a very, very, very good side. They're very balanced. I just hope, and it can happen, that they haven't peaked too soon. You know, because they're flying all the time. Every game's perfect. This is different. I mean, they've got a good draw in Austria, I think.
They have, because this is the thing. They're 11 games unbeaten now, Italy. But in Austria, we're saying that what we're waiting to see if the Italians can perform against one of the big dogs in this tournament. Austria aren't that, but we've got to give them some respect. Their last performance was their best when they dominated Ukraine.
I mean, but Ukraine didn't really offer much either. You know, you're going to have a completely different outfit against you in Italy. And the thing with Austria, I don't really think they've got any flair.
No.
I don't think they've got that flair player. Whereas, you know, Italy, 30 games, a record equaling 30 games unbeaten. You've got Verratti in there. You know, you've got... The thing for me with Italy, and I think we said it at the beginning of the show, was... Are they going to be able to score more than 1 or 2? They've proven that. You know, they've scored 3 goals in 2 games. I don't see them faltering in that respect, and especially against Austria. I just think they're going to be able to overpower them. I think they're going to be able to dominate the game. They're going to control the pace of it, and I just can't see Austria finding a way into that game.
Nothing to lose at Wembley, though, the Austrians.
No, not at all. But as I said, you know, Abby's right. They're kind of like a workman-like side. I know you can throw it out and out of it, chapped up, you could give you that little bit of flair, but you know, they are very light. You know, defensive,
industrial,
industrial, organised, hard to beat side. But listen, as I said again, last 16, anything can happen. It's all about, in these knockout things, how you handle the experience, the environment, you know, the atmosphere, the pressure. This is what it's about. And if some players don't do that, and the lose their focus, anything can happen. So,
quick predictions. Let's go. Start with you, Abby.
I'm going. Hang on. So we do actually have our scores written down. I'm going Italy 3-0. And do you remember what you went for?
Don't know, tell me.
Italy 3-1.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. He's never more than a goal away from me.
You're sure you're not changing my scores?
We've got it down in green ink.
In green ink.
Yeah.
All right, well, Wales versus Denmark is, of course, the other fixture we can look forward to today. The first time these two have faced off in a major competition. Before we discuss it, let's look back after their final group stage against Italy. FC Cymru, here's some footage of the fans reacting to that loss.
Oh my God, that would have just been the icing on the cake. Can you imagine Gunter scoring a goal? But Gunter only needs to score when we're all there. We need a full house in Wembley at the final. Gunter score, 93rd minute in front of 50,000 Welsh fans. That's the pinnacle.
What would it have been like for him to score after all those games? It would have been superb, wouldn't it? And inches away, but there we are. At least he had a crack. He went for it, you know.
Never a red card challenge. That was not a... No. Never a red card. We were done there.
We're not biased in the slightest. Exactly.
No.
Looking at it, I thought he could have probably taken it down. It is what it is, you've got to go for it. It's football, there's a chance there, you know. Goals are wide open, you just go for it. Yeah, you've got to go for it. I can't criticise him. He's just like, he's there, he's above everybody else, isn't he? So yeah, I'm not going to criticise him.
Flipping awesome, isn't it? Absolutely awesome, yeah.
It is, isn't it? It is
definitely awesome, isn't it?
Second place is an incredible result. I actually said before the tournament, for me, the qualification from the group would be a result. It was a tough group. Switzerland are no mugs. Turkey were deemed to be the underdogs by many people. Second in the group, I will take that.
That squad is just, the togetherness is just something else, isn't it? Let's be fair, you know, they're so together. who knows? Who really knows where we can go? We could lose the next game. We could go all the way. Let's just get behind them and let's just enjoy it. We're not there. We would love to have been, wouldn't we? Let's be fair. We would all love to have been there. It's an absolute nightmare, but there we are. Let's just go for it and let's enjoy it.
Robert Page, he's not far from you. We're in Porth. He's from Tylerstown originally. I just think that is just awesome for him. Do you know what I mean? And everyone wants to cheer him on as well, locally. Massively on the boy, and I think he really deserves it as well.
And just finally, then, what does it mean to spend the afternoon with your Wales away mates, people who you travel the world with that you can't at the moment?
Everything, isn't it? It's just we're all together stronger. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Normally we'd all be out in Rome today, but we can't be, so we're all in Steve's garage in Porth. There we are, what can I say?
Thank you to FC Cymru for that wonderful footage. Welsh fans living the dream right now. We've got one of them sitting on the sofa right now. Dan, how are you? Welcome back.
I'm good, thank you very much for having me back.
How are you feeling? You feeling super positive despite that last result to Italy?
Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of positives to take out of it. We've got out of the group. A lot of people didn't think we were going to get out of the group, but we have. We got a game against Denmark. They've beaten us twice over the last couple of years in the Nations League. So they're not an easy opponent, but they're going to be easier than some of the other games out there. So we'll go into it with a bit of confidence.
Did you feel like it was a good performance against the Italians despite the result?
I think it is very difficult. We couldn't really get our forwards into the game because of the Italians' high press. So, I don't think we can take too much from it. And I think we mentioned before, we made 3 changes. Italy made 8. But we don't have those resources. Making 3 changes for us is a massive deal. Not having Kiefer Moore in there, not having Ben Davies. So I think that's a bigger deal for us than it was Italy.
We love a prediction on this show. Dan, we want you to stick around. We want to talk more about Wales. Plus, we're going to do our full tournament predictions. Who's taking the trophy? We're going to make our guesses after the break. See you.
They say life is a game, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot, now pass me the ball.
Chase Buchanan, Private Wealth Management. Trusted advice made simple. Chase Buchanan, Private Wealth Management. Trusted advice made simple.
They say life is a game, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot, now pass me the ball.
Welcome back to Pitch Football at the Euros with me, Iain, Abby, Ince and Welsh fanatic Dan. Dan, back to you, right? Denmark, last 16. Tough opposition because they are flying after their last result in the group stages. What do you reckon?
I think they played really well in that last game. They were kind of played high tempo. They were pressing up the field, scored a couple of goals. They seem to be good spirits, good form. So that's worrying. Do you know what I mean? See a team kind of flying because they're going to be full of confidence. But I think we've got a good team and we can kind of slow them down a little bit, give them a little bit of trouble at the back, and hopefully come out on top. I think we'll just about sneak it.
Ince's laughing.
Of course he's going to say that, isn't he?
Do you believe him? Do you believe him?
Of course you've got to believe him. He's Welsh, you know what I mean? Just like I believe England are going to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he'll probably laugh at that. I can see a little smile on his face as I'm saying it. But listen, I think it's a tight game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really do. I think, Denmark is the story of the tournament, as we know, for the wrong reasons. And I think they've done fantastic against the Russian side. And they would even when the Russia scored went to 2-1 from the penalty, they did sit back and defend. They wouldn't try and get more goals. So their attacking team, it caused Wales a lot of problems. But Wales with the likes of Bale and Ramsey, as Abby says, if they turn up, it's going to be a tough game. But I think it's going to be a close one, Dan.
Yeah, I think we'll give the Danes more to worry about than the Russians did. I think we've got a bit more quality at the top, and then if they've got a little more pressure on them at the back, they may not be as adventurous going forward. Because they'll be worried about being caught on the break because the pace of Bale and Dan James on the break can cause anyone problems. So,
as a Welsh fanatic, would you be disappointed if you got knocked out the last 16? What was your expectations before this tournament started? How far the Welsh team could actually go?
I think as a Wales fan, you're happy to be in the tournament. Absolutely fantastic to be out of the group. I did say before the tournament, I think we'd get to the quarterfinals, and a lot of people laughed and scoffed at that, and I think even you scoffed at that.
I think you did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. No, you did.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't.
He scoffs it a lot.
If we can beat the Danes, and then we've got a chance to get the Germans in the next round, haven't we? So, have we not?
It's the Dutch and then the Germans.
Dutch and the Germans, that's it. Germans in the semis, that's it.
I appreciate that maybe the Welsh are a little bit less adventurous and optimistic than the English fans.
I'd say it's more realistic.
I knew you were going to say that. I was trying to think of every other word, but once you get to the dance, of course, you want to go as far as you can.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we've lost only 2 of our last 16 competitive matches. I think that's huge going into this, and something that hasn't been talked about that much. We need to smother them like they smothered Russia. You know, going forward, I think it's, you know, huge testament to Denmark that they're still creating so much without their main playmaker in Eriksson. You know, we look at it from a human point of view, and that's difficult enough, but what he offers on the pitch as well, and the fact that they've still been able to do it. So that's, you know, huge credit to Denmark, definitely. But I just see us as such a strong outfit now. You know, defensively, I know we lost to Italy by 1 goal. I know they made 8 changes, but I still think, you know, only conceding 1 goal to Italy, that's huge. You've got Joe Rodon at the back, a leader, future captain of this team, and we can, you know, people are going to be fearful of us on the counter-attack. They are.
I'm excited. I'm really excited for this one. I'm excited for all of the last 16, but let's get you two.
Yeah.
Let's give you the stage. Here's the platform. Discuss your starting 11 together.
Right, okay. Do you know what? It's funny because we said before the tournament, didn't we, that Adam Davies was the only keeper getting regular game time, and he's not even getting a mention now, and that just shows how good Danny Ward has been.
Danny Ward has been brilliant. He's made some great saves. Little bit questionable with his distribution against Italy, but some of his shot stopping has been fantastic. So I was quite a critic of him because he's got the cleanest gloves in world football because he just doesn't play. I think he played like 3 times or something for Leicester in the last couple of years. So, but he has been brilliant for us. So he keeps the number 1 spot obviously.
And then Mepham back in to partner Joe Rodon at centre back.
Yeah, I think so.
Ben Davies, Connor Roberts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then Joe Morrell, Joe Allen.
Joe Morrell didn't have a great game last time out, but I think with Ampadu being suspended, I think Joe Morrell, he can push up and he can help the forwards to smother the Danes at the back. So he's got plenty of energy, plenty of legs in him. So I think that's the right way to go.
And then the forwards speak for themselves, don't they? It's Aaron Ramsey, Dan James, Gareth Bale, Kiefer Moore.
Exactly.
Kiefer's lap Dan Moore, sorry.
That's it. I think if we were going to change anything, it'd possibly be dropping Ramsey a bit further back for Morrell and putting in Di Brooks as the 10. I'd like to see because I think we haven't seen enough of Di Brooks and he can be phenomenal. Harry Wilson seems to be getting the shout off the bench, but Di Brooks, when he's on form,
I'm a massive Di Brooks enthusiast.
Sounds like a good team. I mean, I just want to apologise to everybody watching if the last 2 minutes you didn't have subtitles on. Next time we'll give you a bit of a heads up. But let's get some predictions for this
Tidy.
I love that, Chambers. Come on, England. I love that.
Prediction for this one, starting with you, Dan.
I think we're going to win 2-1.
I've gone 2-1 as well.
You've gone 2-1?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've gone 2-1 Denmark.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know what we were talking about? Because I think, without wanting to spoil it, next up we're talking about our routes to the final for different teams. And again, Paul saw that I'd gone for Wales to win, and he went, not having that. Not having that.
Okay.
So
he's going to be saying that a lot all the way.
I do actually, as sitting as an Englishman, I do actually want the Wales to win, but sometimes, you know, you've got to be honest with what you think is going to be the score, and I just think Denmark might have a little bit too much for them.
You go with your head, we go with our hearts. That's the Welsh way.
All right, stick around, Dan. Let's get into our routes to the final. I'm going to go first here.
Oh, here we go.
Here's what I think we're going to see when this tournament unfolds. Quarterfinals. Belgium, Italy, France, Spain, Ukraine versus England, and Wales versus the Netherlands.
You've gone for Ukraine to beat Sweden, which I find very interesting.
Why not?
Nah, I'm going Sweden all the way.
Semis, Belgium beat Italy and France beat Spain, so it's Belgium-France in our first semi. England beat Ukraine and Wales beat Holland, somehow, to give us a wonderful semi-final of England versus Wales. We get to the final. England beat Belgium. It comes on.
If that semi comes off, I'm flying back at you. Don't you worry about it.
All right, your turn, Abs.
Do you know what? I've gone Belgium, Italy, very much like you in the top half. France, Spain, Sweden, England, though I think Sweden are going to beat Ukraine 2-0. And that's actually one we agreed on.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And then Holland, Wales, I've gone 2-2. The Dutch to win in extra time. And then Belgium to beat France. They make the final. Dutch to beat England 3-1. In the semi, and then Belgium 2-0 in the final.
We'd have the Dutch.
Well, do you know what? Paul's gone for the same as you. He's gone for England to win 2-1 in the final.
Against Belgium.
Belgium.
Good lad.
And I just think
we got a great passage through, haven't we? Again, we go back to 2018.
You always do.
We had a great journey through, and we kind of messed up in a certain way. So I think the passage we've got going through, if we can take care of the Germans, which I expect us to, then I think we can go and win it. Especially we've been at Wembley, 45,000 fans. You know, I can't say he's playing the Welsh in the semis. I think that's ludicrous, but you know, you can only hope and believe. But no, definitely not. England's coming home, son. I agree with you.
Okay, what do you reckon, Dan?
As a realist,
I got to go with Abby. I think she got it absolutely spot on. I'll back her all the way.
Really?
Yeah, I think Abby's kind of called it right there. That's exactly what I'd go for as well.
Yeah.
So do you think that man for man, Ince, the England side is better than the German side?
I don't think it's a lot in it. I said the Germans haven't been that impressive. Then I thought they played very well against France in the first game when they got beat. And then we saw them against Portugal where they were outstanding, and then you think they're going to go through easily, and then they struggle against Hungary. Yeah. But we haven't clicked yet. And nor have the Germans really. So it's the case, as I said, last 16, who's going to perform on the day? You know, and we've got game changers. I mean, we've got people who can change the game, so have Germany. It's just how defensively we're fine. Germany seems to be letting in a lot of goals with Hummels at the back, who could be a bit of a weakness. So listen, I think we've got a great chance in front of our fans at the home of football. England all the way.
Such a huge thing, isn't it?
It is.
Fans.
It's
I know
massive.
we've been talking about it so much, but that's the biggest dampener on this tournament for me.
Yeah.
Is, you know, you see Denmark have played 3 games in Copenhagen. We've travelled something like 850 miles so far, and now we've got the next game in Amsterdam. And I just think, as we've said before, it's so far removed from what everyone's going through at the moment in terms of COVID, what every fan is going through, and what football means to them, what international football means to them. And to me, it's about, you know, going to places, embracing the culture, getting to meet new people, getting to experience that match day, and taking that away. I know it's difficult because of COVID, but they've added further complications to it, and I just think that's the biggest dampener on this tournament.
And it's a disadvantage, isn't it?
Absolutely.
For a lot of teams,
Absolutely.
so it's kind of unfair on a lot of teams who keep playing away week in and week, and the ones who are playing at home is an advantage, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And that shouldn't be the case.
A quick statistic for you two. The Welsh have lost all 5 of their previous games in the Netherlands, all against the home side, conceding 16 goals. So.
Great stat.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd bring that in.
Who cares?
It's just interesting.
It's a great stat, that.
No, listen, it's obvious that England have definitely got a few more gears to go through, especially if some of the bigger players start stepping up. We talk about Kane all day long. Do you think that you've reached your highest gear when it comes to Wales?
Absolutely not. You know,
you got another gear.
Absolutely. You haven't
possibly
seen
2.
Yeah.
2 more gears.
Yeah. We've not
It's
seen.
not a reverse gear. We're not talking about reverse gear. It's what
We've
going
not
forward.
seen-
Only team going backwards is your lot.
We've not seen Dan James, Aaron Ramsey, Gareth Bale in full flow yet.
We've seen Ramsey in full flow.
He's had a good
Yeah,
game.
but the 3 of them
he can do
together.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely we can go up a level.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we're going to see it against Denmark, and you'll see what we're all
Well,
about.
you have to.
Famous last words.
You have to. You have to, because when you're talking about this Bales and Dan James and I mean Gareth Bales and Ramsey, they have to perform in these games. Otherwise, you're not going through. It's simple as that.
This is important for us that our big players kind of turn up and perform because we don't have that strength in depth. And I think it's the same for any team now. Like with England, your big players need to turn up. Germany, big players need to turn up. When you get into knockout football, those special players have to step up because it's fine margins, and that's what could win you the game.
And the other one thing that I think will never creep into that Welsh national side is complacency, ever.
Right.
So I think, you know, they know what it means. They've been talking a lot about what it means to wear the badge, to play for the badge, and they know who they're playing for. I think a few of the players have come out this week and said they know who they're playing for, even though we're not there. Yeah. They know who they're playing for, and they get it, because a lot of them, if they weren't there playing, they'd be there as fans. And I think that's such a huge thing.
All right, well, I cannot wait to see the game. I really can't.
Thank God that's over.
Oh yes, Dan, you've been amazing.
You've even got a little bit of sweat on the brow after that.
We have loved having you on this show.
Yeah,
we wish you a safe journey back home, and we wish you a safe journey in the tournament as well. So thank you very much for joining us. And if you haven't already, what should we do? Let's say it all together. There's an app you need to download. It's called Pitch Football. When should we download it? Now. And we will be back very soon with another episode of Pitch Football at the Euros. See you then.
They say life is a game, gotta have your goals. I gotta take a shot, now pass me the ball.
Chase Buchanan, Private Wealth Management. Trusted advice made simple.